So our next speaker is going to come and share what his journey. Please put your hands together for Thomas Muir.
Hi everyone. Thanks very much for the opportunity to share my story with you today. Thanks for Simon and the team for the programme that they've built. It is pretty incredible. So I'm from Liverpool, in case you hadn't already guessed. And I started my career in the Royal Navy. I joined the Royal Navy when I was 18, travelled around the world. It was a pretty cool experience, but all that time I knew I didn't want to be an employee. I was always looking for business ideas. And so outspan from that was the pictures that you can see there was a Bliss Juice Cleanse, which in 2013, myself and my girlfriend Louise started. And that was really the beginning of being in business. And it was a pretty fantastic experience. We've done loads of mistakes, but the principles were all the same that we've carried into the property journey, and some of the results I'll share with you very shortly. They're my two children, Ellie and Hallie. They mean the world to me. And as we were going through the juice business, anyone in business will tell you, it's not always plain sailing. So we wanted something that was just a little bit more secure and could give them long-term wealth. And ultimately, to create something that was pretty special, that could inspire them when they're a bit older. So coming on to the property, bit of a funny story about PIN really. In 2013, when we decided to start the juice business, I was going along to PIN meetings at that time because I was thinking about getting into property then. And it just wasn't for me. I was probably too cynical. It didn't resonate with me. You had all these people up on stages telling you how fantastic that they'd done. I was like, it's not really possible. And it's quite ironic that I stand here today. And also, there is times when I think if it had been a bit more mature then and trusted the process, then God even knows where I'll be at the moment. So. Started Mastermind Accelerator, I think it was actually the November of 2016. And that again, we committed to getting into property, but limited resources, knew that we'd probably be able to find a way. And the Accelerator programme showed us strategies that, you know, it is possible. And I was a massive confidence boost, met some fantastic people who were in this room and that I've kept in touch with. So, finally, we come on to Mastermind 12 months ago. It absolutely flew by, I don't know about you. And we knew that HMOs were going to be for us because we wanted cash flow and cash flow quickly. So we started the rent-to-rent model. So by the time we come onto the programme, rent-to-rent was pretty set that that's what we were going to do. And having that real focus helped. You know, it's very easy to get distracted in property because the majority of property strategies work if you put enough time and effort into them. And through doing the rent-to-rent business and generating a lot of property and a fair amount of money, the opportunities have come that I was looking for originally. Joint venture partners have come forward, private finance has come forward to ultimately help me start building my portfolio and doing bigger and better things. But the important thing is that you need to start somewhere, and rent-to-rent was that for me. And we've done pretty well out of it. So first case study, so by the time we took over this property, we already had about 6 rent-to-rents, and they were generally all the same model, 5-6 bed houses, and they were generally generating between £700 and £8 per calendar month per property. So we were starting to get the hang of it, starting to put processes in place, and you know, we were enjoying it. So we started doing some marketing, direct to the vendors, landlord letters. Again, quite cynical about it, but we've done it, and it worked an absolute treat. This property come about. The guy contacted us, he's over in Spain. He had a couple of family issues over there which he was dealing with. He had a friend running the building for him who didn't know what he was doing. And it was coming into June. And by that time, you know, you're pretty much in trouble if you've missed the student market. So there wasn't much time to mess around. We took over the building. We worked night and day to get this property off the ground, to get it up to a full occupancy. It was tears, tantrums and long nights. It wasn't pretty. But you know, in the building that's there, there's 32 units and they're all en suite. It's right in Liverpool city centre, and there's another 15 units that come along with it. So it's a pretty life-changing deal. After all the costs, all the bills, there's quite a bit of maintenance because they are old buildings, which we're gonna do some work over the summer. You know, £6,500 per calendar month. It's definitely not to be sniffed at. There was no money that actually went into the transaction. It was just trust. We negotiated a 3-month rent-free period, purely due to circumstances, and then it goes back to everything that we've been taught. It's about relationships. It's about the situation, not just the building. I've probably drove past that 100 times and never even looked at it. But it was just the situation. So originally we agreed a 3-year rent-to-rent. The guy was a little bit sceptical about the whole thing, but he wasn't really in the situation to argue about it. And we very recently secured a 5-year purchase lease option with him. It's just about to be signed and get over the line next week. So I look forward to that. There's an extra 13 units in Chester, which isn't too far away from Liverpool. And that's all just through taking action by sending the letters out, doing what we're taught. Nothing special's being done, just pure hard work written to determination, really. So as I mentioned, it is about the long term for me. It's not rent-to-rent can be a bit of a short-term strategy. It's about building wealth for my children for the long term. So we started looking for HMOs and blocks of flats to buy. But now the finances were coming in from various sources. So this deal, again, it does epitomise what we've been taught. You know, we're looking for a situation. A sale had fell through on this. It was horrendous inside. It really, really was. But again, you know, we absolutely stole it at that price, really. It was a fantastic deal. Most of the work was cosmetic. And we got a fantastic valuation at the end of that, which has got all the money out, and we'll move on to the next deal. As you see there, you know, it's cash flowing really well. It's a lot less hassle than HMOs, but obviously you need to have your management processes in place. So again, you know, return on investments infinite. I wish every deal was return on investments infinite. I really do, but you know, sometimes you do get lucky and find these opportunities just through putting yourself out there and giving this stuff a go. So over the past 12 months, if I just skip back there, I haven't got any fancy graphs for you or anything like that. Built a rent-to-rent business which has got 125 units of accommodation in across 14 properties. You know, the numbers sound fantastic. Again, it has been just through hard work, a lot of learning, a lot of mistakes, but ultimately having a community like this has helped, and it probably wouldn't have been possible without this. £120,000 annual net profit after all costs. We manage everything in-house. We've got a team. We're setting processes up. It's you know, again, 12 months ago that absolutely, it just wasn't possible. Starting to build a residential portfolio, focusing on blocks of flats in Liverpool. And at the moment, after all joint ventures and everyone's being paid my value, and that is about 1.2 million, which again I wouldn't have even dreamed of 12 months ago. Annual cash flow of £52,000. So the next steps is to build the brand. Extremely inspired by people in this room with the brand and how they've marketed themselves. And we're sort of doing it around about going back and now building our brand as we look to be a real figure in the Liverpool property industry. That's the aim and that's the goal. So we'll continue building our portfolio quite aggressively over the next 18 months. We're working on a development project, which is a completely different kettle of fish than what we used to. But again, it's stepping up and moving on. And I ultimately want to be a property developer who adds real value to buildings and builds real legacy within Liverpool. I'm working on a nursery at the moment that's going to be into 9 flats, and that's just a completely new level of learning. But it wouldn't have been possible if I hadn't built a rent-to-rent business, I hadn't started building my own portfolio, because the time in these projects is, it really is excessive, but it's you need that backbone. And again, going through the whole cycle has helped it to be possible. Through having our own staff and our own in-house system, we're starting to manage other people's property. Again, another source of income, which wouldn't have been possible. We wouldn't have had the scale to do if we hadn't started the rent-to-rent business. So rent-to-rent for me is just, it is a real game changer because it gets you involved in the industry quickly. You know, we're working with partners, whether that's on a finance basis, professional basis. I have learned, probably my biggest learning over the last 12 months is that working with other people, leveraging other people's skills, knowledge, time. You know, you really can't build a huge business unless you open up to that. And now I do feel a lot confident that I can add something to the party, which is a pretty good feeling. So, top tips for anyone starting Masterminds, anyone in the room, anyone interested in property really is educate yourself. You know, you're taking on a lot of risk when you get involved in property, so you've got to learn what you're doing, whether that's through courses, books, just generally getting involved, working with other people. For me, the education has been key. When you're an entrepreneur, you think you know it all, but without educating yourself in the right circles like this, you wouldn't be able to achieve the stuff that you can achieve. Focus on the strategy, probably, again, a real top tip, because it's easy to get distracted, it's easy to want to be a big multi-millionaire developer, but it's just not possible unless you go through where you are at that time. And for me, that was rent-to-rent, and working through the processes. Take massive action. It is again probably should be at the top actually, because with the education, with your own knowledge, with the opportunity, that only comes around by getting yourself out there, getting stuck in, doing the other things that people they just won't do, and that's where I study a lot of people, successful people, wealthy people, and they all act on what they know. Might not always get it right, but they always act. And persistence, I think that's been on everyone's slide. It's no coincidence. For me, that is, out of success, well, to anyone that's done well for themselves in any field, persistence and never give up. I've turned deals around that have been dead in the water, just by going to the point of annoyance, really, with estate agents and various other professionals. But that's what you've got to do. Remembering why you're doing it. It's for your family. So, opinions, just get on with it and get the results, and then think about whatever happens afterwards. Connecting with like-minded people. Some of the extra events that we've ran, speaking to a lot of the people in the room. Again, I probably would have been a bit narrow-minded 12 months ago that I'd be friends with all ears, but it has happened. And, connecting with people who are interested in the same stuff as you, having them conversations. It sounds so simple, but a lot of people, they won't do it. And that's probably been the biggest benefit for me, being part of this community, being able to open up, listening to other people's stories and learning from other people. So, absolutely grateful for the community. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me. It has been a fantastic journey, and thanks to everyone in the room. Thanks for the PIN community for putting on such a great program. Thank you.